Hello everybody, this is Mr. Schlott giving you a quick overview of how to start this next project with the Happy Meal toy. So to start out, we have to talk about how to draw spheres. To draw spheres in Inventor, pretty simple process. You're going to start off with a circle. You're going to set this circle to a certain size, whatever that size may be, depending on how big of an orientation you're going with your particular character. Some characters are bigger than others, so you're going to have to determine how big of a circle you're going to start with. Okay. After you draw it, I'm going to divide that circle in half. Okay. Use the trim command, clear off half of it, finish the sketch, do a quick revolve. It's already going to find the side. The axis is going to be that center line. And that's how you're going to end up with the circle. Okay. To get that complete sphere, we could change the color of it. The majority of the characters in this particular cartoon are yellow, so I'll set that to yellow. Alright, next. We need to draw the eyes. Okay, the nose, the ears, all that stuff. So the problem is you can't start a 2D sketch because there's no flat surface to draw on. We're drawing on a sphere. So to change this up, we're going to come over to Origin, turn on the plane that runs through the middle of this thing. So you're going to find the one that runs through the middle. Okay, I'll right click, turn on visibility. So now that is visible. Okay, we look at this thing from the side. It ends up being dead center. Okay, our eyes need to be higher than that. So I'm going to come over, start a work plane, pull a work plane up higher. Okay, how high am I drawing this work plane? Well, if we look at this thing from the side, you can adjust this. Where do you want those eyes to land? Okay, so somewhere in this area. We can always adjust it later. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect to set it off. We're going to hit the check mark. Alright, we're looking at this thing from the side. You now have your work plane and you have your origin. I can turn off the origin, so I'll turn off visibility on the origin. I'm just dealing with the work plane. The work plane is roughly where the eyes are going to be. They might be higher, they might be lower. We can always make that adjustment at a later time if I'm off. Alright, so I'm going to start a 2D sketch. I'm going to select that plane, and now I'm actually drawing on that sketch. When you go to draw on this sketch, something we haven't talked about yet, if you highlight this when it's red and I right click and I choose Slice Graphics, okay, F7 on your keyboard, I click Slice Graphics. What that does, looking at this thing from the side, it actually like chops off the top. So you're actually sketching with inside of the shape, okay, which is what we need because you're going to do a sketch that's going to be inside the shape. That's what we're going to talk about now. So I look at this thing from the top. All right, I determine where I'm going to put my eyeballs. So if I come over with a circle, you could do this with arcs, depending on what you want those eyeballs to look like. So I'm going to come in here, draw my first eyeball, okay. Then come in with your line tool, okay. When you go to sketch this line, okay, I can draw this here on an angle, okay. Trim off the excess, and I have a half a circle, okay. It does not need to be lined up. It can be off. You could always come in if you needed to. You could select everything, okay, rotate it from the center point, and then you can spin this thing around in the direction that you need. Alright, it does not matter where you're going to end up putting this, but you might not want a perfect circle, okay. You might want more of a elongated half a circle. So it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Don't feel that you need to draw that circle tool. You can always draw it with the arc tool and get a much longer of an arc, okay? You don't necessarily need to use a circle. Alright, so with this selected, I hit the finish sketch, and we look at it, and we can see most of the circle at this point. Alright, so what I can do is, I choose Revolve, I come in, I select the surface, okay? Then I select the axis, and it will rotate that around. I press OK. If we go to color this in, most of the characters have black eyes, so with this selected, I can come in and set that to a black color. All right. Looking at this thing from the front, okay, my eye is off to the left. I could always come in, turn on my origin, okay, which runs through the middle of this thing, turn on visibility, okay, there's my eye, it's dead center, okay, we all know where I'm going with this next. So if I choose mirror, okay, with everything selected, I select mirror, I select the eyeball, I select the plane that I'm going to mirror this through, alright, and the other eyeball will end up over there on the right, okay, they will end up being evenly spaced. I can color that eyeball in, currently set to gray, okay, I can set that one to black, turn off some of my work planes, okay, turn off visibility, alright, and I can also turn off the work plane that runs through the middle of this thing, okay, we look at this thing from the front, the eyes are starting to form. If you want them to be closer together, you do not have to start all over again, okay, we can come over, find the revolution, which in this case is right here, okay, and at this point, with the original revolution, I can get over here to my sketch, which ends up being on revolution 2. I double click, okay, I am now editing my sketch. I can right click on this and slice the graphics so I can see my sketch. And if I needed those eyes to be closer together, I could highlight all of this and move it over, okay, and it would be towards the center of the head, or I could move it further away, depending on what you're trying to do. With this being the demo, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here in the video, but, okay, we could come in, select the move tool, I could highlight all of this, okay, and then choose my base point being the center, and I could relocate this eye to a different location, okay, but I'm not going to do that now, okay, just for time purposes, we'll leave it as is. We're looking at this thing from the right. We have our two eyeballs. Let's say we wanted to do over here some type of mouth, okay, so if we look at this thing on an angle, we look at our work planes, we find the work plane that we want to pull off of this, alright, which in this scenario would be this. I right click, I turn on visibility, I'm going to pull a work plane off of this out past the shape, okay, hit the checkbox, we look at this thing from the side, what am I doing? I got the work plane, I pulled it out past, alright, once I have that, I could come in, I could start a 2D sketch on this plane, we zoom in, if I want to draw the mouth, okay, I could come in with my arc tool, okay, come in, draw my first arc, okay, select the mouth, oh, missed it, let's try it again, okay, and go arc tool, select, and you can pull it, what type of mouth do you want that character to have, alright, finish the sketch, okay, now I can come in, I can choose an extrude, I'll select that shape, I'll have it go in, it's going to be a cut, you got to make sure you select that cut command, alright, and as we start to look at our shape here, it's going into the shape, okay, it's cutting that mouth into it. Unfortunately, our mouth right now is going way too deep into our character, so instead of 1 inch, you would have to type in different numbers here and figure out what number would work, okay, so if I go with, I don't know, let's just try one out here, have it set to cut, press OK, your numbers are going to be different depending on the size head you have, alright, and if we look at this thing, we rotate it, there is the mouth being cut in to the shape. If we look at this thing head on, okay, and if you don't like where it's at, you simply come over to extrude, you come over to sketch, and you move your sketch higher on the shape. Okay, so it's not always going to work the first time, you have to move things around. We still need a nose, we still need ears. Okay, so if I'm doing ears, I could come in, turn on this plane, okay, turn on visibility, start a 2D sketch on that surface, I zoom in, I right click, I slice the graphics, okay, we are actually drawing with inside the shape, it cuts the top of our shape off, okay, So from the top, I can come in, get my circle for my ear. Okay, how big of a circle do I necessarily want? Okay, you get to decide. Okay, is it huge? Is it small? Every character is going to be different. Okay, so once I have that, I can come in, draw a straight line, get my trim command, clear off half of it, finish the sketch, choose revolve, select the shape, okay, revolve it around the axis, and then I start getting that ear. Alright, I press OK. We look at this thing from the side. This is probably out too far. I'd want to move this sketch into the shape more. Okay, it looks more like he's wearing headphones. This is a little bit too big, okay, but I would slide that in a little bit more. So if I come over here to revolve, I double click on the sketch. Now I'm editing it. I right click, I slice the graphics. Okay, if I need to move this shape in further, I would select the move command, select everything that I have, choose the base point being the middle, and I could easily, okay, slide this within the shape. Okay, I hit finish sketch, and that moves the ear within. If it's too big, it's too small, you can always edit that. Alright, that gives you a good start. Let's talk about hair. If your character has hair or some kind of crazy haircut, we could do a start a 2D sketch on this plane. Okay, with the plane selected, I could easily come in, right click, slice the graphics. Doesn't look like I had the right work plane origin turned on, so let's start a 2D sketch on that plane, and then I can right click and slice the graphics. So now we're within the shape. Okay, I could always project the geometry, so I could take this, alright, and I could come in and say, you know what, I'm going to offset this. So if I come over and I choose the offset command and I select this, I can actually pull this out a little bit if I want to add a little bit of hair. Okay, once I have that offset, I can come in, draw a quick line, okay, like so, and then if I needed to, I could offset that hairpiece again, okay, within the shape. Then I use my trim command, start getting rid of some lines, okay. We come over here to the side and make sure that I draw a straight line, okay, wherever you want that hair to stop. Okay, you can always draw it longer, you don't necessarily need it. I choose the trim command, I clear off, get rid of some areas. You'll notice here that I have a little bit past, that's where the hair is going to start and stop. Okay, at the top I have my solid line there, and we'll finish the sketch. Okay, I choose the revolve command, I zoom in. Okay, so I have that selected. I'm going to rotate around that axis. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm adding material. I don't want this to be a cut, so I'm going to add some material. I press OK, and we go to zoom out a little bit. Alright, and obviously I made the hair a little bit too long. The hair should have been shorter, but you can easily come in, you know, set the color of this. Okay, and you know what, I want the hair to be black. Alright, I didn't need the thing to come all the way down, but again, you're going to have different measurements depending on the character you're doing. Some of the characters are small, some of the characters are larger, but you get the basic idea on how to draw with spheres. You're not going to be able to emboss on a sphere, okay, so everything's got to be either on work planes, slice the graphics, and draw within. So